This is Our Zing podcast by Aya Farahat. Hi, I am your host Aya Farahat and the new episode of Our Zing podcast, a podcast for our Arab youth, a podcast that will add the zing to our lives and much more. Today we will continue talking about how understanding your strength will help in experiencing happiness and career well-being while maximizing your performance, because knowing and using your strength leads to engagement and better relationship at work. You will feel more satisfied and sense of well-being doing something you love each day with people who truly get you. A successful career and a happy personal life are facilitated by having hope for the future. Hope is best cultivated when you have solid knowledge for your strength and an onus of control over your own life. In short, when you know who you are, you feel confident moving forward into the big, beautiful, unknown world out there. Our guest tonight is a true example of this. He is a person who knew who he is at his best, moved forward, stepped up his game while helping people become better versions of themselves, because he, and I quote him, believes that it's all about the people. Let's welcome Coach Mamdouh Eid, the CEO of Intellect School, the first company in the world to offer the Arabic ACSTH program and a market leader in the coaching industry with 7 science-based programs. His vision for Intellect is to become the Harvard of coaching in the Middle East. He's also a Gallup Strength Coaching Program facilitator. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Aya. I'm very excited to start it, and thank you very much for the lovely introduction.
Okay. Before getting into the Gallup Strength Assessment discussion, can you tell us more about the 7 science-based program? What are they? Whom do they help?
Okay. Those 7 programs are ICF programs, certified from the International Coach Federation. They are mainly coaching programs with some specialities. The first one is a certified professional coach. Some people call it life coaching. And the second one is a certified career coach and certified relationship coach, certified addiction recovery coach, certified parenting coach, certified health coach, and finally the certified positive psychology coach. They are mainly coaching based and they are targeting the generic approach with the professional coaching. Career coaching targets career progression and career selection in a way. Relationship coaching is mainly, as it describes itself, it's targets a relationship. And addiction recovery, it's a stage that we use the coaching in a certain level in the journey of an ex-addict trying to give up whatever addiction it is. Parenting coaching, we mainly target to coach the parents in order how to deal with their kids. Health coaching, it's a new one which target whatever it comes, the health from a psychological point of view. And the last one is inspired by positive psychology science, which is the positive psychology coach.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving to Gallup. How did you start with them?
Oh, that's a lovely story. Actually, I got introduced to Gallup by a friend of mine called Walid Farid. He is the founder and CEO of a Strength Space company. And by the way, this company is the only registered company which is certified by Gallup to deliver the program in the Middle East and North Africa. And I actually remember that day when he did that, I got hooked from the first because of 3 things, or let's say 2 things. First one, I found that approach is very humane. Actually, I can tell the difference between the sessions when we are talking about the challenges and the tough things for someone and compared to while we are talking about his strength and his talent and how unique he is. Actually, the difference in accepting that in the approach itself, I found it very humane. And if I may say, it's very spiritual. And the second thing which hooked me to the strength development is how people are different in a very beautiful way. We have been taught that there are certain approaches to do certain things, But the reality is different. We are so different and we are so unique, and we can achieve whatever we want, but we shouldn't be put in a boxes, and we have to be ourselves. We are different and we can behave different and we can succeed differently.
Oh, great. And this, of course, impacted you personally and on the business level also.
Yes, it does. Actually, it's kind of changing the mindset. It was a kind of a paradigm shift for me, the mindset itself, because the strengths-based development is totally different than the conventional way. We just focus on what we are good at instead of what we are bad at or what we need to be developed. So actually, I started to see events differently, people differently, my progress differently. Everything is different. It can be applied everywhere as well. It can be applied at work, at life, at relationships, at whatsoever. Yes, it has a huge impact on me, on how do I see people? How do I see myself? How can I see the action from a different perspective I have never experienced before?
Great. You mentioned that you need to focus on your strength instead of your weakness. Can you tell us more about this?
Actually, that's a very old story when Donald Clifton asked that question. What if we focus on what's right with people instead of what's wrong with people? And that was, I believe, in the 60s. And he started his researches based on that to identify the talents that human beings have in general. And actually, he is a father of that strengths-based development, and that belongs also to the positive psychology. And yes, it was a paradigm shift, shifting the mindset to focus on what we are good at instead of what we need to be developed.
Yes, and starting to look at things differently from another perspective.
From a totally different perspective, yes.
Great. So, if I don't know anything now about the assessment, and I heard these words for the first time, strength, talent, skills, can you explain them to me in a very simple way?
Okay, let's go simple. Let's start with the talent. Talent is thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that come to you naturally. And the word naturally is very important here because it's the gift that you have without doing anything. It's a very natural way of thinking or way of feeling or way of behaving. This is the talent. And the difference between the talent and the strength is that the investment. Talent is very raw, very immature, very unproductive. It cannot be mature or productive unless we made a kind of investment to move it from a talent to a strength. And here the strength is somehow the ability to produce a near perfect performance in a consistent way. This is a talent and this is the strength. Skills is something that you learn. You can do well, but you have to learn it. It's not coming naturally. It's not coming out of a talent. And here is the trip. You need to be very, very, very cautious when differentiating between strengths and a skill. Because sometimes we mix them up. We thought it's a strength because I do it well, while it's a skill, and vice versa. The only difference that we can find here is that your emotional or psychological state. The skills that you are good at, it will lead to success, but it will never give you what do you need when it comes to your psychological state, because it's not coming out of a talent, because talent are somehow linked to our values. Right. So when we are practicing our talents or our strengths, it's give us a kind of satisfaction and fulfillment. A skill does not provide that.
Yes, I understood. I just recap what you said. Our talents, it comes from nature. It's God-given. So when you work on it hardly, you can gain and make it points of strength that you can work with it.
Okay.
The skills is something you acquire and you work on it so you can be perfect or expert in it.
Yes, that's true.
Great, okay. Gallup assessment between myth and reality. The myth, it's a tool that tells you which college to get into, what major to pursue. But the reality is it's a stepstone in the road towards knowing yourself, which can help you, but not necessarily decides for you the career choice, good or bad. How much of that is true?
I would say I agree 200%.
Great.
Yes, because it's all about us. It's all about how do we work, how do we think, how do we behave, how do we feel toward things. So I would say the priority that everybody should give to himself is just to understand what we call it now self-awareness. This is the key for everything. If we ask a question, what is common between your college, your career, your relationship, your social life, your family, your group of friends, and so on, the only common factor between everything is you.
Yeah.
So investing in yourself in a sort of self-development is the most important thing you need. But selection comes later. Using what you know about yourself in too many different domains will come later. So 200% agree with what you said.
Excellent. Do you think any education entities can make use of such an assessment? And in what way?
I guess yes, because as I just said in the beginning, we are very different in a very beautiful way. So we have different interests, we have different capabilities, we are different in everything. So getting in an education system where everything is similar, it's not that smart. It's not the best practice that we have, because we are different. We have different needs. We have different capabilities. We have different interests. This is also aside from the way of teaching that it is the same till now. I believe all of that, knowing the person in front of me, will somehow allow me to navigate the way of learning that everyone should go through.
Great. Do you think who else can make use of this assessment?
Actually, knowing yourself, knowing your strength, knowing the people around you, knowing the strengths of your team or your colleagues or your family, it's very essential. We can use that in everything. We can use that in relationships. We can use that in work. You can use that in sports. We can use that in everything. Actually, because as we said before, you are the common factor between everything. Knowing yourself, what do you need, what do you like, what are you excelling naturally, can be used everywhere, in every domain, not only career or relationships and so on, everywhere.
Yes, and if it depends on our talents, everyone has his own talent. Absolutely. So we have many talents.
Yes, and that's what we are doing when it comes to the team. Actually, we have dominant talents. Everybody has dominant talents. But imagine working in a team of 10 people. If we combine my top 10 with your top 10, with his top 10, with her top 10, we as a team or group of people, we're gonna tackle our challenges with the 34 talents, not only our top 10. We call it in Gallup word, it's a strengths partnership.
Yes.
So we are very unique, but we need each other as well.
Yes, this will be very productive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In our previous episode, we talked with Coach Qasim about how Gallup Strength Assessment positively changes high schoolers and college prep lives by raising their self-awareness. So, taking this step further, in your opinion, Coach Mamdouh, how does a strength-based mindset help people continue living this change, reaching an extraordinary performance in their jobs, achieving a meaningful career and happy personal life?
Actually, the conventional way of development, the old one, which focuses on our weaknesses, it has been proven that it will prevent failure. This is 100%, but it will never lead to excellence. If we study around us the people who are excelling in any domain, we're gonna find the deep root of that they had a certain talent and they worked on it. They invested in it and converted it from a talent to a strength. So yes, working on our weaknesses will prevent failure, but we cannot reach excellence without working on what we already equipped with, on what we already good at, which is our talents. So I believe this is the easiest way to do so. And we have also a very differentiator between working on our weaknesses and working with our strengths, is that the psychological state, the fulfillment that we get from working using our talents, which gives us another boost to continue and do more and do another successful.
Great. Okay. At the end of our episode tonight, what would you like to say to our young listeners out there?
Oh, that's a very hard question. I would say look inside first. Look deeply inside and give the priority to discover how do you think, how do you behave, what do you like and why. Because knowing yourself will help you very much to select whatever suits you. And actually also knowing yourself will help you to appreciate what you have and what others have. So the choices will be much easier than we have now. And the decisions will be also much easier. So focus inside first.
Great. Thank you so much, Coach Mamdouh, for such an incredible talk. It was a pleasure having you today.
Thank you very much, Aya. The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you. Thanks all for tuning in. And I wish you all a meaningful career and a happy personal life. Understanding your strength can definitely do this for you. This was Aya Farahat. Till we meet again with another Zing, our Zing.